Going to be the most expected session, workshop on diabetes technologies, and to chair the session, may I call upon Dr. Bharat Shabu, Dr. Alok Modi, Dr. Vengo Jayaprasad, and Dr. K. Shivakumar.
We will begin with CGM, then we will be taking how to incorporate artificial intelligence into CGM and AGP and SMBG. Then we will be talking about artificial intelligence basics, then what is the role of artificial intelligence in diabetes care, and then use cases based on generative AI which can be helpful in our day-to-day clinical practice. And then in the end, we will be talking about the ethics associated with artificial intelligence. So first, I would like to invite, we will be having Dr. Venu Gojaya Prasad, who will be talking about CGMS. So we will be talking about basics first, and then Dr. Modi will come up, because he will be incorporating these basics of CGM into the artificial intelligence. So first, Dr. Venu Gojaya Prasad, who will be talking about CGMS from basics to the interpretation.
Respected moderators, my dear fellow speakers and all the delegates, very good morning, good afternoon. At the outset, I'd like to thank the track for giving me this opportunity. And this is going to be a very simple session lasting for 5 to 10 minutes. So my talk would be basically on what we have to look at in a CGMS. So what do we need to know? Whether the sugar is under control. If it is under control, how long it has been under control? If it is not under control, what is the magnitude that it is going out of the range? Is it on the higher side? Is it on the lower side? And how long it has been like this? So this is all what we want. To keep it simple, all we need is this. But as you all know, now these people who bring out with these machines have to sell their machines. Something like a phone, a mobile phone. So they put in all the extra parameters to give them a unique selling point on that. So that increases the complication of interpretation of a CGMS. So something like a newer phone that comes with all the features that we don't need. We buy it or we are made to buy it. But ultimately what we see, we use it to call, we see the social media, spend some time with it, and then keep it back. Then again there is another point. You buy a state-of-art phone, the one that has come, the latest version of it, with a few added features, but then you have a generic version of the same phone with a different operating system that is more friendly and useful to us. So the people who buy the most, they're supposed to be the best in quality phone for the status, but they will have another phone that will be useful for them. So this is as simple as that. So as I told you earlier, we need only these parameters that I told that has to be interpreted. Why the CGMS? Because HbA1c is not everything. Because with HbA1c, we will not be able to know how high was the sugar, how long it was there, and most importantly, whether there were any hypoglycemias during the course of it. So again, for this advantages for CGMS, we have this. Using CGMS has proved to decrease HbA1c in the same patient who was taking more or less the same treatment without CGMS, decrease the incidence or the hypoglycemias, and increase the time in range. That is the newer concept that has been continuously portrayed. The patient is within the blood glucose levels that is earmarked for him throughout the day. Naturally, HbA1c is going to be normal. And then it has also shown to decrease the hospitalization. And then increased quality of living. The number of pricks by self-monitoring of blood glucose has come down to a drastic level. And of course, it also reflects in the terms of decreased absenteeism. So the components are now present. Sorry for using the brand name because it's just an illustration. The components, it is useful for the patient, for the caregiver, and also for the providers to see the collective reports. So these are the 8 formats that we are generally given. One, what is the average glucose that comes out, and then the daily patterns. This is the most important parameter of a CGMS that we will be looking into. Estimated HbA1c, more or less it may not be very accurate. Logbook, that is very important to find out at which point of time what was the absolute value of the sugars, and most importantly the low glucose events, and finally the time in target. This plays a major role in the patient's management, and of course the daily graph. Of all these parameters, the daily graph and daily patterns would be most helpful for a clinician to decide on deciding the drug and the timing of the drug that we are going to institute. So I'll just go through the general reports that come. This is the entire summary of an AGP. Here you get everything. Like you get for 14 days generally it is applied, and what is the time in range that is given in color, and daily reports, see a graph with a gray and a lighter gray area around it, which gives the excursions, and then the absolute values. This summary is enough for deciding everything. And added parameters like monthly summaries, daily logs, snapshots of that particular time, mealtime patterns, newer AGP machines come with the options of entering the food and the calories into it, and thereby it can help us, the weekly summaries, and of course most importantly, we need to counter check on the device also. We need to see whether the sensors have been working throughout or it has not been working before now. And most important parameter, as I told you, is the daily pattern. You fix a range, say between 80 and 170 or whatever it is, and we see whether the sugars are within that range throughout the day. And if it is going to be up and down, you can see that the graph goes up and out of the range and comes down, at which point of time. You can see in the x-axis the time is plotted, and in the y-axis the glucose is plotted, and thereby we can find out how it is being done. Daily patterns, especially on day-to-day basis, which is given by color coding. Each color represents a single day, and if you can see a single color that goes out of the range, you can ask the patient whether on that particular day something out of the daily routine was done, so as to not intervene with pharmacological agents. This gives an easy idea for the patients to see when all and at what time and how much the sugars were out of the range. If the peaks are like in yellow, these are the times. You can see it starts between 0 hours and 12 hours. And if the peaks are in the center, it means the peak is in the forenoon or afternoon session. The time is being plotted. So it is very simple, not only for the patient and also for the physicians to identify. This is all we need to see. We need to see whether the sugars are within the range, where all it went out of the control, what time it went out of the control, for how long it was out of the control, and most importantly, the hypoglycemias that can be easily plotted, especially in patients who have hypoglycemic unawareness. So this can also be monitored remotely of late, because these are being transmitted over the net. So this is very simple. What is the overall glycemic status? How much time is spent below, within and above the range? Like this, between 70 to 180. If you can see here, more than 70% of the day the patient was in control, and over and above 180, 25% of the time. And then around 5% of the time the patient had suffered hypoglycemia, which has to be addressed somehow or other. So we need what is the magnitude of the sugars that went out of the control and what treatment we will have to modify. But one thing we will all have to know while interpreting CGMS is there is always a lag of 5 to 15 minutes between the actual capillary glucose levels that we can know it by a CGMS to the AGP machine, because the capillary glucose to enter into the interstitium where the AGP measures the blood glucose, it takes around 10 to 15 minutes. Why is it important? Hypoglycemia. You cannot detect the hypoglycemia in real time when you use a CGMS. So the CGMS may alert you if there is an option only after 15 minutes of actual hypoglycemia. The patient may not be able to do it. But of late, they have come out with algorithms, the trend they trace. If the trend is towards the lowish side, the AGP machine alerts you before the actual event is going to happen or exactly at the event so that the patient can correct himself. So this is it. Where all you will have to use? All type 1 adults, especially when they are on insulin. Type 1 pediatric patients, same, it is strongly recommended. In type 2 patients who suffer or have had recurrent episodes of hypoglycemia, this is very important. And gestational diabetes mellitus, especially in type 1, ADA has come out with a recommendation, they can be used. That is it. In spite of so many companies and pharmaceuticals that have come into this, they are yet not able to bring it to the forum recommendations. So that itself means that CGMS is not absolutely warranted in all cases. So I think that ends the topic. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.
I would request Dr. Alok Modi to take up from here, and then we will take questions at the end of this. So Dr. Alok Modi would be talking about artificial intelligence into CGMS. So where sir has left, Dr. Alok will put AI into play.
So at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for a wonderful symposium, and I'm grateful for giving an opportunity to be here. Thank you, Dr. Bharat, for doing a fantastic job. And I believe in the proof of the pudding is in eating it. So I won't talk, I'll show you live what I can do with AI. So just see that, it will help you in your own practice. Just give me 2 minutes till my laptop is connected. So now I have to talk about two things. One is SMBG, one is CGM, right? So what I will be doing here is showing you how to apply it in real life with your patient sitting in front of you. So now we have a lot of patients who have come with SMBG reports. So they get some 30 pages in their diary or some paper where they write 8 a.m. 220, 10 a.m. 150, 3 a.m. this, and they come out with 20, 30 sheets, right? And then you say, yes, yes, things are nice, things are bad or whatever. Actually, it doesn't make any sense because you can't make out whether the sugars are under control or not. And today we are not looking at HbA1c, we are not looking at fasting and PP, we are looking at TIR. Today the concept is TIR. The new metric is time in range, which means we need to understand something very clearly, that we used to get the fasting down to 110 and the post lunch to 140. It doesn't make sense because if your post dinner is 200, it doesn't make sense. And suppose your fasting is not 110. The new metric says that it should be between 70 to 180, at least 70% of the time in 24 hours in type 2 diabetic, right? So suppose my fasting is 180. And my post lunch is 160, but my TIR is more than 80% in 24 hours. The damage to my organs is much less than keeping the fasting at 110 and 140. This basic concept needs to be very clear. So I've started telling my patient, don't get psyched if your fasting is 160. It doesn't matter. So you need to take multiple values and then understand how your TIR is running. So now coming to SMBG, when you have so many values, how do you make out your TIR? So this is where AI will help you. So here you can see the thing. This is a data of Mr. Sundar, okay. So you see some, okay, now this is a summarized data. Okay, this is the data of Mr. Sundar. Now there are a lot of glucose values here. Now you see these values, 229, 60, 70, 131. Now they are one thing. Now one more trip I'll tell you. People come with their things written on a piece of paper. So if you have Excel on your mobile, switch on the Excel on your mobile. I can show it right now. There is a column at the bottom where you can take a photo. Just take a photo of all those papers and Excel converts it into an Excel sheet automatically. Take that Excel onto your PC and your Excel is here. So like this Excel is this is the blood sugar report. So what I will do is I'll tell ChatGPT, kindly give me glucose metrics in the Excel data I'm going to upload. So it will tell me, fine, give me the data, give me the Excel sheet. Right, so I'm going to upload the Excel sheet now for it. So now I've given the sheet, now see the magic happening. So this is the data. Now it's going to work in Python, so it started working. Just wait for 2 minutes and you'll get your answers. And this is something I'm doing it live as if my patient is sitting in front of me. Now it's telling me what all work it can do, what it is. Now it's going to calculate the mean standard deviation, coefficient of variation to tell you what is the pathophysiology, what is the prognosis of my patient. So you can be absolutely raw. You don't have to be trained in a lot of biostatistics and CGM and SMBG. It will give you the answer straight away. That is the use of AI. I'll just let some data come and I'll show you more features. So when there are errors in your data entry, I purposely got this slide, there are some errors in the data entry. It is so smart and intelligent, it will start correcting itself. So I'll do one thing, I'll go a little ahead. I've done this already so that we save time. So once you do that, it will give you the data analysis. I will show you the time in range like this. You can ask it to create a graph. It will show you, this is the, you can see the legend. It comes, all this comes automatically. The time below range is 40% of the time in the data for the last 10 days. Time in range is 36%. Time in range is hardly 5 to 10%, but the time above range is around 56 or 60%. So now when you take that SMBG data and you push it in AI, you're getting this value, so now you understand what your patient is doing. Got that? It's so simple. In less than 5 minutes, you could interpret 30 pages of data into scientific analysis by using this tool. What is this tool? This is the tool. This is Dr. Alok Modi's SMBG2 AGP AI tool. This I have created on ChatGPT. Many people are using it. It's getting to be validated, so I'm not circulating in public, but I'm using it. I'm getting it trained nicely. So I put in a lot of SMBG data, people who can't afford CGM, and I get the CGM kind of reports. And then I work. And I've got some VIP patients, and believe me, when I did that, I cut down their insulin, and they improved. So it gives you directions which you can't do otherwise by just looking at that data. Now, what I wanted to show you was, okay, now let's see, now I'll show you, now this is SMBG, I've shown you something. Now you get CGM reports, right? Libre Freestyle, Libre and Libre Pro we use, we get that CGM data. Now if you're trained in CGM, like we all are trained, we can interpret that graph and we can take decisions what to do. But suppose you're not trained in interpreting that 14-page report. Now what is that report? Let me show you the report first so that you'll understand. Okay, so I do a lot of CGM. Let me take out one report of one of my patients here. So I sit and do a lot of analysis through AI live in front of the patient when I have so much of CGM. And it makes my life very easy because I can treat a lot of patients very comfortably here. So let's see Mr. Raj. I'm not supposed to reveal the name in a conference. So this is his this is a CGM report. His TIR here is just 49%. His time above range is 7%. Time below range is huge, 49%. And if you don't know how to interpret this glycemic variability and the coefficient of variation, what is the prognosis, you need not break your head on it. What I will do is I'll just tell ChatGPT, kindly analyze the CGM report that I'm going to give you. Right? Now, if there are spelling mistakes, it's okay. It's intelligent and understand what you're trying to say. It says, give me the report, so I'll give the report now. So here I upload the report. So here is a report. Wait for a minute for the PDF file to get uploaded. The previous versions, you have to take the photographs and give. Here I'm giving the entire report of CGM to ChatGPT. Now it's going to read it, it's starting to analyze it. Now see some lot of magics happening. See the average glucose, see the glucose management indicator, see the TIR, see the TAR, see the TBR, and see the variability is 22.4%, says that he will not be having a lot of problems. That the glucose variability is not bad, but a good amount of time is spent in high range. It needs to optimize insulin dosage and carbohydrate intake. There is no time in hypoglycemia. There are morning spikes, evening spikes. The recommendations are here what you need to do. See the beauty of the whole thing? Now I will go one step ahead and I'll say, this patient is on Tresiba. I'm using the brand name. I'm not giving any generic name. 24 units at 6 p.m. and glimepiride, all spelling mistakes, 3 milligram daily. What do you think I should do as his endocrinologist? Lot of spelling mistakes, I'm not correcting it. Remember, I'm not asking it to replace me. I'm just asking him to help me like a resident doctor or a student. Given this patient's current data, persistent hypoglycemia, postprandial spikes, stable overnight glucose, increase Tresiba by 10 to 15% in this manner, modify the timing of glimepiride, split glimepiride in 2 dosages, add a rapid-acting insulin, add an SGLT2 inhibitor, and do regular monitoring and do nutritional counseling. You don't have to follow it. It's like taking a second opinion. Now what I do is, give me his diet chart with carb counting and caloric counting. He is a South Indian, Tamil, and he loves masala dosas and idlis, so don't remove them from his diet. So one has to be practical, right? So I'm being practical. I need to keep my patient happy. That's precision medicine. So I do that. Now see what it does. The beauty of it is you're doing it live in front of the patient, so you don't have to run to a dietitian and all. So it started giving me the dietary goal, it's giving me the meal plan, it's telling me what all can be eaten, it's giving me a very beautiful meal plan, which will include masala dosa, but in a modified manner. So this is AI. So the beauty of AI, 10 minutes are getting over, so I won't take much of your time. This is how you can actually use it in real life in your own practice every day. Just before I leave, I'll show you one more thing. This tool of CGM I have not created. The first tool is something which I have created. That is very helpful. This is another tool which I have created, which will help you quite a lot, little different from today's talk. So here is a prescription. So you chart out your prescription in whichever manner you want, a handwritten or whatever you want. You have a prescription. So what I do is I'm uploading one prescription for you. So this is one
Alok sir,
prescription which I'm...
Alok sir,
Yeah.
we will take this with the use cases.
Okay, fine. So I just showed you that AI is not something to get scared about, nothing to get frightened about. You saw the beautiful benefit of it. You can use it right now within the next 1 hour and make your life happy and your patient's life happy. Thank you. One of the pioneers in this country on AI, who has created his own app called Mitra, and he is a very actively invited faculty in various national and international conferences, and he is formally trained and he is getting further trained, and he's somebody who doesn't consider AI as an artificial intelligence, but a very augmented intelligence, that is natural intelligence. I think that is good enough. So, Dr. Bharat Sabu, back to you.
Because I have milked technology so much that now technology is cursing me. It's done actually, it has excited everyone what this can do and what actually it is. But many of us don't know actually what is artificial intelligence, how it works. So for them, I would be talking for next 6-7 minutes to just let them know what actually is artificial intelligence, because it is mandatory before learning log curves, it is better to learn the tables. So we will be learning the tables first and then we will be going to the log curve. And that's why Dr. Alok, I'm extremely sorry, but I halted you back there to use cases to be used at the end when people should understand that how this algorithm whole works. Alok, you have that slide in your laptop, AI Basics, which I shared with you once in Delhi. PowerPoint. That workshop in Delhi which we conducted. We also sorted out. Because AI can minimize the human errors.
This becomes the irony. You do everything for saving time, and it gets delayed because of this.
Yeah, very, very good. We can do one thing, we can take questions on CGM because we can then close the CGM part over here only. If any questions for that CGM part is there, CGM, SMBG, how to use CGM, SMBG with the help of artificial intelligence, you can directly put your questions over to the speakers.
What is the problem?
It's not loaded, nothing, no issues.
आप मेरे को मेल कर दो ना, मैं भी कर दूँ.
So extremely sorry, finally it has been done. So I'll be briefing in just 5-6 minutes about the artificial intelligence basics, what this actually is. And this would be future for us, like I was talking, that doctor himself will say, if you want a second opinion, I will ask my computer. Rather than you going to computer, I will ask himself and I will prove that I am right, I am not wrong. So this may be the era which is coming to us, and in our clinics we'll be doing this. So let us see, is this the future for us? Just a small question, because this term artificial intelligence we are hearing so many times. When was it actually coined? Can anyone answer? And 55? 75? Any more bids? 74? 1980? Let us see the answer. 1950 was the time when it all started, but 1955 was the year when John McCarthy, he is the man behind artificial intelligence, he coined the term artificial intelligence. But it required a lot of computing, so it took time till 74, because in 74 the machines were having that much power and fastness to come to a conclusion at a faster rate. So this was 74 when AI was actually feasible. It was theoretical before that. In 1980, it was the year of artificial intelligence, because we were having 286, 386 computers with us, and that were able to compute these algorithms. And 2000 was the landmark of AI which was established, because that was Y2K era and we saw computing taking a leap forward. This is whole history of artificial intelligence. If you want to take a snapshot, this is there. In 1950, the Turing test was done. This term becomes important because Turing test is a method for determining the intelligence of a machine. If a machine passes the Turing test, we consider it to be at par with a human being. As I told you, term AI came in 1955. 1966 saw the first chatbot. So if anyhow you go to KBC and a question is asked, when was the first chatbot discovered, it is not in 2000, it is 1966. 1970 to 80 was AI winter. Nothing was happening due to lack of computing abilities. And then 77, that was Deep Blue, which was a chess computer. It was playing against the chess world champion Garry Kasparov, and he defeated Garry Kasparov. 2011, we saw Siri, then we saw Watson. Watson is a supercomputer by IBM, we all know, which gives all the legal advices and medical advices as well. 2014, we saw Alexa. 2016, we saw Tay. Tay was a chatbot. It has to be reissued after a short time because of racist and sexist remark. That is why the ethics become so much important in artificial intelligence. Because if machine goes beyond your hand, it can do anything. In 2017, AlphaGo came because Google's AlphaGo bet the world champion in the game Go. And that is how it came into foray that they can be better than human beings for the things which human beings are only thought of capable doing till now. 2010 was the era when we saw a lot of noises about ethics coming into play into AI, which Dr. Alok Modi will tell in the end. To me, these are the four revolutions, industrial revolution. The first came with engine, railroads. The second was with mass production, electrical power and assembly lines. Third was with electronics and computers, as I have told you, in 1970. And fourth is right now with artificial intelligence. So this is the fourth industrial revolution. And this is by these all trends in the healthcare and pharma industry which are there. You see, most of the domain is covered by artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, mobile health, and all these things which involve AI into it. These are the top 10 pharma industry trend, which again focus towards artificial intelligence and big data analytics. Precision medicine also gradually growing in. And then the Time article, which showed us that the future of medicine lies with artificial intelligence. There was a whole section which was devoted to artificial intelligence. Coming to the core, what is artificial intelligence? A very simple definition. It is a field of computing that is associated with concept of machine, which are first thinking like humans to perform certain tasks such as learning, problem solving, planning, reasoning, and identifying the patterns. The pattern identification was exclusive to humans, but now the machines are identifying the patterns. It has three components: artificial intelligence, machine learning is a subset of it, and then there is deep learning. Machine learning where the machine learns to do the task, and it includes deep learning where it is a subset where neural networks, just like our brain, are developed into machine algorithm which can work accordingly without needing our input. These are all the things where AI can come into play, right from predictive analysis up to robotics, all the things. So basically, AI system is able to do four things. First, reasoning. Second is natural language processing, which is ability to read and understand and respond, plan something, and then machine learning algorithm by which it can improve on itself. Just a simple example how it works. There is a problem to rule out a coronary artery disease in a diabetic patient, a routine problem with a doubtful symptom and a normal ECG. This is a routine thing which we see in our day-to-day practice. Now what is done? A human trains the AI. This ECG matches with the symptom, this doesn't. This matches, this doesn't. Then AI program is asked to generate the pattern for each outcome based on the big data. The data which is coming from all these things, family history, genetics, biochemical test, changes in normal ECG, wearables, sensors and all those things. And then in second step, the machine predicts based on the human training which it got. Then human is there just to verify, yes, you are right, no, you are wrong. And then machine again relearns the thing. So fine tuning is taking place. In the third stage, the human is gone. The machine has learnt, the machine is performing on its own, and there is no human interference which is required. It is doing it without tiring, without any psychological bias. It doesn't matter whether I had a quarrel or something, but it will work fine, because human intelligence cannot deal with more than 6 variables at one point of time. Moving forward, there are 3 types of artificial intelligence. First is artificial narrow intelligence, which is machine learning. Machine is learning and performing. Second is artificial general intelligence, which is a higher version of machine learning. It refers to a computer that is smart as a human across the board. It is working just like the human being. And artificial super intelligence, just like the M. Night Shyamalan movies we see, where machines are more smarter than us. So, ideal AI, what is the ideal AI? The ideal AI is little bit less intelligent than us. We always want our assistant to be less intelligent than us. So we want it to be little less intelligent than us, and it should lie just below the level of artificial general intelligence. You can see the green dot over there, and this is the level of the ideal AI where we want. Just a brief about this ChatGPT. This is a very common term, and all the algorithms which we are driving through is through ChatGPT. This is actually the evolution of ChatGPT. We have seen all the era of GPT from GPT-1 to GPT-4, and now GPT-4o has come. And it has increased and enhanced its processing capacities with the libraries which are extended. There is again a thing which comes, which is Google Bard. Many people talk about Google Bard. To simplify it, these are the two, these are slides which shows difference between Google Bard and ChatGPT. And to an extent, I feel for a normal user, ChatGPT does most of the thing. If you become an advanced user, you should go to Google Bard, because Google Bard is little tricky for you to begin. This is history and evolution of OpenAI. OpenAI is the organization which actually gave ChatGPT to us. And this is how it all evolved. Now what is GPT? This is generative, pre-trained transformer. Generative means it has creativity to generate original text. Pre-trained is trained with vast amount of text from the book, article, website. And the transformer means architecture that helps it to understand the connection between the work. The pattern recognition which I was talking about comes through that. Now this again is the history, difference between Google Bard and ChatGPT. This is just what I want you to do. You need to go to ChatGPT on your phone. You can download it, and then you need to create a login account. If you create a login account right now, Dr. Alok and me would be able to live demonstrate in your phone what we want to do with the ChatGPT. So you can just go to your App Store or Play Store and download ChatGPT. You can log into it in going to account settings. Then you can enable these plugins. It would be there. Login, setting, plugin, and these are the plugin, and it will look like this. And this whole plugin store would be open to you. And then we will be taking it hands-on. Okay. So Over to you, sir, for in the time being for the AI in diabetes care, how AI is giving diabetes care a new look with all the applications around us. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you once again for the organizing team of TRAC for providing this wonderful opportunity to be in front of you to discuss about artificial intelligence in diabetes care. As both of the eminent speakers already pointed out, now actually artificial intelligence is a broad terminology which some insights have been already given. Here I am going to be very specific about what really artificial intelligence in diabetes can do. And now we are in the right era, that is in 21st century, where we are in the intersection of biology and technology, and already it has begun. And this is, we are going to see about what is the global impact of artificial intelligence in diabetes care and what are the practical aspects. It's not just, see, we are using certain tools like CGM, then ChatGPT or Google, whatever it may be, because the same thing can be used by any patient who are coming to us. Sometimes it is really frightening to see the patients coming with the data, Google data or whatever the ChatGPT data, speaking about, sir, this is what we have gone through and we need more info on this, we are a bit confused. That kind of info also we get. So what are the practical aspects to transform really with the help of AI? That is the second part. And human collaboration. Is it really collaboration or is it going to supersede? That is artificial superintelligence like that. So to simplify the things, so artificial intelligence, it's leveraging technology for better care. This we have to remember. It's not superseding us. That is then, as rightly pointed out, human brain cannot process the huge amount of data. Say for example, in Harrison, we have studied about genomic information, the genetic code. So each chromosome having a volume of, each volume of Harrison, one chromosome, 23 volumes of chromosome like that. Such a big data, genetic code. How is it possible to interpret? It is so hard. We know that sickle cell disease is single point mutation, that is just replacement of one letter out of 23 volumes of book like that. And removing one paper out of 23 volumes is like thalassemia. This is how the impact in human disease. But is it really possible to do such a kind of big analysis? So that's where big data, artificial intelligence, everything started in 2000. So the complexity of data can be done better with the help of the computing power, which has gone up like anything. Whatever the smartphones right now we have is like supercomputer. As far as diabetes is concerned, we are going to have these kinds of things. That is, this is the review article about future of diabetes care, where 4 important things have been discussed. That is, number 1, data-driven precision care. We are living in the era of precision medicine and personalized care. The impact of artificial intelligence, if we use properly, we can bring down at least 8.8% of global prevalence of diabetes. That's the biggest impact. And not only that, how we are going to achieve that? Like intelligent decision making, it can help to decide faster, and remote monitoring by healthcare providers, this is quite possible. Right now, many of you might be using some of the apps to provide remote care to your patients. And of course, all these things have been discussed by the earlier speakers, like machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, all those things. Now, what are the 4 key areas as far as diabetes is concerned? It is already we know about automated retinal screening. So, with the help of camera, fundus camera, if we feed the images, the artificial intelligence can give the result, whether the person is having retinopathy or not. And of course, what we have is clinical decision support system, which I am going to focus on next 3 to 4 minutes. And there are other things like which can be done as a massive things, like RSSDA should collaborate with many doctors to provide the predictive population risk stratification, and of course patient self-management tool, it is discretionary. So it's all your wish to use the tool or not. Now coming to clinical decision support system, it can be used anywhere, like prognosis, diagnosis, prevention, evolution or treatment wherever we want. And here I can give you some of the examples, like whenever a person joins for a job, he undergoes some master checkup at the age of 21 years or so. And at the age of 25 years again he might undergo another master checkup. If we have a trend line of data, we can predict with the trend of what the glucose is increasing, how the blood pressure is rising. So whether the person, with the help of other data like family history, all those things, it is possible to predict and prevent the disease like hypertension or diabetes. That is the impact we can predict and prevent. And what are the advantages of using decision support systems? Of course, it helps to improve accuracy, diagnostic accuracy, treatment enhancement, identifying potential health risks, improving patient outcomes, and ultimately cost savings to the patient. And not only that, by providing all these things, we can improve the adherence to the treatment itself. These are all the small sequences by which decision support system can help, like ordering medication, and according to creatinine level, we can estimate the EGFR, whatever the tools we have, and the decision support gives option whether to give the same dose or reduced dose and so on, like that. Now, we have randomized clinical trials that help us to create guidelines, and from there we want to provide standard of care. But whatever the standard of care we want to provide, the patient goes to home and forgets many things. Sir, I have not taken for 2 months, out of 6 months I have not taken 2 months. That is real world evidence. So in real world, still some of the patients, even with discontinued therapy, they might be having lower A1C, and some of the patients, they might be having higher A1C in spite of adherence. All these things are permutations and combinations in real world. So in such way, we get huge data in real world which needs to be clustered, and all those things need to be done, and for which machine learning, deep learning as well as neural networks help. And here we get the non-knowledge based decision support system, which is machine learning model. So these are all various key components. I don't want to go through each and everything, like clinical workflow, then decision support systems, alerts and reminders, feedback loop. Again, there is human in the loop, so that whatever the decision made remains relevant to the clinical practice. Now we are seeing the exponential growth of data like CGM data or ambulatory glucose profile data, as well as so many other things. Of course, ethics is going to be discussed soon, and this is what last year we published as far as medication effectiveness. This is talking about medication effectiveness out of the data, whatever the EMR data we had, and we did machine learning model, supervised machine learning model. We clustered the patients, and out of the clusters, what kind of drug effectiveness got from the data. And just imagine a situation where Dr. Alok Modi's experience, Dr. Parthasarathi experience, or Dr. Ramesh's experience, everything comes into computer and everything gets integrated. This is like a neo brain. So the artificial brain which can give decision support system out of big data. So that's what the aim in future is going to be. Of course, I'm not able to use internet to show the decision support system. And to summarize everything in nutshell, the transformation in diabetes care, it can happen only with the help of the doctors we. It's not just technology. It is how we are going to handle technology, how diligently we are going to use technology to support the patients to get better and better outcomes. And of course, it is possible to create an artificial neo brain. India is not just diabetes capital, it is diabetes care capital. And not only that, we need to be diabetes data capital. Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Now I will be showing you some use cases which some companies have utilized for artificial intelligence and how made products out of it, and then I will be show you what I have prepared out of it, so you can help and you can use it in your day-to-day clinical practice and improve lives of your patient also. Now AI application and use cases I will be talking about. I will be going through very fast. I will be just showing you glimpses of what AI has done to the diabetes dogma. Now, as I've told you what AI can do, now AI in diabetes has been used in all these 4 tests like anything. Now, this is most common, which we commonly do in our day-to-day clinical practice, detection of diabetic retinopathy, because we all know the pattern recognition of AI is much better than human eye because it better processes image than our eyes. That is why it has been used in the foot imaging, even the SPACT, even in retinal imaging and ECG interpretation also. In hypoglycemia, this is an app which is telling me that your sugar I see is often below targets between 12 to 3 because I will be taking lectures between 12 to 3 on Saturdays here and there. So the app is monitoring me and you might be doing something different at that time. I will keep an eye on that pattern during this time as I get more data. This is a Sugar IQ app by Medtronic. This app was developed to give the hypoglycemia trends and it gives the hypoglycemia predictions 4 hours before actual occurrence of hypoglycemia. So this is enough for time to eat a banana that can save a hypoglycemia from occurring. This is again a FDA cleared technology which is telling me that you are expected to have a hypoglycemia in 2 hours. From 4 hours, again reminding me in 2 hours. 2 hours is again a time where I can eat something and avoid that hypoglycemia. This is how it works. It predicts and then prevents. Because there is a trigger, the hypo alert usually occurs when the blood sugar goes low, but once it recognizes it, it gives you the next time prediction 4 hours before the same pattern is recognized. At the very same time, it will give you a trigger. This is a technology which we all know, the closed loop hybrid pump. It again runs on artificial intelligence. The insulin dose adjustment for patients, those who are not on pump therapy, has again been utilized by companies with the help of artificial intelligence to develop an algorithm for the same. And this is the most dreadful thing for us. This is a AI-powered digital endocrinologist, which is called as DreaMed. It has been US FDA approved for type 1 in 2018 and type 2 patients who are on insulin therapy in 2021. This is US FDA approved. It is non-inferior to endocrinologists for glycemic control and hypoglycemia. And believe me, it takes just 20 seconds to generate a diagnosis. So we need to really be on our toes if we want to compete with it. Precision medicine, we all know, now has become AI enabled. So what it does, it categorizes patient which responds to normal dose, which responds to lower dose, which responds to higher dose and responds to alternative medicine also. So that it can save your time, money and effort for you as well as patient. It can help in patient retention better. Personalized nutrition is a big subject. We can have a talk on it for 1 hour because this has come like anything. And actually, this has come up because glycemic index is now a thing of past. What a banana can do to me will do differently to Dr. Alok Modi on CGM, and we have seen this through CGM. And that is why all this talk about personalized diet has come up. And this is how it works, because what is food to one can be poison to another. And it works based on feature extraction pattern recognition and prediction. Again, the same extraction prediction model is employed. And it gives a prediction based on the past response. And prediction is accurate and superior to the common practice. This is again a beautiful app, Neutrino app it is called. You click a snapshot of the food in front of you and it gives you all the things. What it is containing, how much calories, what is the amount of fat, protein, carbohydrate into it. And even it scans the barcode. You can just scan the barcode and it will give you the nutritive value for the packed food, because packed food cannot be snapped. So this is there. Again, for patient education, this is one drop AI system, because patients so many times ask so many questions to us, and this is a patient education and behavioral intervention which has been published. It has shown to reduce a HbA1c of 1.9 when employed. The patients were eating 20 grams less carbohydrate in each meal and 35 minutes of additional activity per week when we were using this one drop AI system. ECG analysis, AI has definitely come up, and it is doing automated detection of hypertension also with the help of AI. This is our own work from India, the twin study, which we all know about. This is again based on artificial intelligence, where a digital twin is prepared. It reduces the HbA1c values. It improves the number of patients which are achieving the glycemic targets. This is Physiot. This is a machine learning and IoT based, smartphone based platform, which is connecting just the weighing machine smartphone with signals and feedback notifications, and it is preventing overweight and obesity. So this is how AI is also coming into diabetic kidney disease, and it is having a positive predictive value of 69% in actually predicting the CKD patterns. This is how the footwear of future will look like. But actually, there would be much bigger than that. This is how it will predict the foot ulcer, it will do wound assessment, and it will suggest the appropriate footwear based on all these sensors which are there into this footwear. This is when an ulcer occurs. But what if we can prevent the ulcer? This is again a US FDA approved technology, Podiametrics. This is a smart mat, and you ask your patient to stand on it for 20 seconds every day. This is HIPAA compliant, no setup is required. This is cell phone connected. This is again FDA clear, and it is 97% sensitive and 43% specific. And look at it, what it does. It will predict diabetic foot ulcer 37 days before occurrence of foot ulcer. So you have enough time to prevent that foot ulcer. This is again the one drop system which I talked about. This is Mitra. If you wanted, you can take a photograph. This is developed by me, nurtured by Alok Bhai, and this is a chatbot. Now the difference between this and ChatGPT is ChatGPT can give patient the treatment, but this will never give patient the treatment. It will ask patient to go back to the doctor every time he asks for a treatment. So this you can very well use with yourself. You can give it to patient very safely, because your patient will be boomerang back to you. It will be doing all the things what you expect assistant to do. It will prepare diet, exercise based on patient's need. It can do reminder call also and all those things. This is just what Dr. Alok Bhai was writing. A diet chart for a 64-year-old diabetic with CKD, with BMI 32, vegetarian, North Indian, having gluten allergy. And this is the key guideline on which his diet chart would be prepared, just like what Alok Bhai said. Now the salient feature are physical activity recommendation will come by Mitra if asked for. Mental well-being support is given. It can even counsel patient. Now it has been tuned into it. If patient asks for interactive quizzes, it will provide him quizzes also regarding his disease. Daily health tip, if you say, it will give daily health tip also. Holistic wellness support would be provided. And above all, it is free. It works with free version of ChatGPT. So there is no third-party app involved, no data to be missing here or there. And it's actually a tool which you can give easily to your patient. So this is just the beginning of artificial intelligence. With this, I thank you all. But to end this with a quote, that technology is nothing but amplifier of the intellect. So we all should be united with technology. So now Alok Bhai will be taking his use cases which are left, 1-2 of them, and a brief about the ethics of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so back here, thank you Bharat Bhai for setting the tone of the talk. Now I'll show you some use cases, not much, but I'll show you some very simple use cases as a doctor, not just as a doctor also. So now there are multiple AI tools in the market. One is Perplexity, which is good. One is Gemini, which is very good. Then one is Copilot. So I'll just show you some. Now why I've typed OpenAI is people type ChatGPT and that will take you to a lot of spurious sites. ChatGPT is not an identical standalone entity. It is owned by OpenAI. That is the company. Microsoft has 70% shares in it. So that's why there is a paid version. Till that time Microsoft did not walk in. It was a free version. So now you need to go to OpenAI. And in OpenAI you need to log into chat. Please remember that. Don't type ChatGPT and log in. You'll go to some fake site. So now I've come here in ChatGPT. Now the flavors you get, if you have a free version, you will get up to 3 and 3.5 and 4. Now with a paid version, you're getting 4 Omni. O stands for Omni, not 0. And then you have a strawberry version, which is a O1 Preview, which is for advanced reasoning, but it is slow, and you can go for O1 Mini, which has got less reasoning but much faster. So depending on what output you want, you choose the flavor. So one use cases I'll show you. This is something which we have created, and thanks to Bharat Bhai for helping me do this. So this is Dr. Alok Bodhi's prescription checker. So now all these prescriptions that you write, they will have some drug interaction. So you start taking out your Google, start taking out your Hippocrates, and you start using your brain, start thinking what, like suppose somebody is on Codron, amiodarone, and you're putting him on erythromycin. So there could be QT prolongation or levofloxacin. So there are multiple potential drug interactions at cytochrome P450 level alone. Somebody is on alcohol and you want to give metronidazole and you want to give an antifungal. Then you wonder what is the thing. You know there is some problem, but then you have to waste a lot of time searching for it. So this is something very simple. So just click this button here, check these medicines for interactions. It will ask you for the prescription. Now for the prescription that you're giving, you need not write the generic name. You can write in whatever EHS you're using, whatever brands you're using, anything works, right in India as well as abroad. So let me show you one sample prescription that I've created here. Now this is a patient who's on SGLT2 inhibitor. He's on dapagliflozin, he's also on AKT. So very good combination. I had a patient like that. So again, the whole problem is, remember one thing, if you want to go very smoothly with AI, you need a good internet. If you don't have a fast internet, you'll get frustrated like anything. So this is what happens in all conferences. I get frustrated because I don't get a good internet. So let's upload it once again and I hope it goes through. For any technology conference, there should be a good Wi-Fi. Now see, this is a prescription. I'll show you the prescription here. It has already loaded the prescription for you. While it's working, let me show you the prescription. So this is, I'm using DocOn. So this is a software. The patient is on Forcox, that is 4-drug AKT. He is on dapagliflozin, Dapavel is the brand name. He is on Flagyl, that is metronidazole, and he is on Flucon, that is fluconazole, right? So I put all the brand names. So this is the patient whose prescription I've uploaded. And now let's come back to ChatGPT, what it is, and see the analysis is ready. These are the contents of this drug. It's given you all the possible interactions. Read it, and then you decide how much dose you want to give, what you want to do. Upload any prescription anywhere you want. Now I'll show you another use case. Give me the prescription of a 65-year-old Tamil Brahmin male, blood pressure, I'm not even writing millimeters of mercury, blood pressure 160 by 90 since 1 year, fasting 145, PLBS 234, HbA1c 9.6, creatinine 1.6, loves pizzas with cheese and drinks sambar heavily and eats a lot of.
Alok bhai, sorry, the value for blood pressure is 1160 in it.
Oh, I'm so
It will hallucinate.
I'm sorry. Thank you. It's a typing error.
And PLB is 24. So you give any value which is feasible.
I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing it out. Okay. So now I've given you the creatinine and I've given you cholesterol is 190, 145, triglycerides are 246. Kindly generate a personalized prescription. Again, it's not a replacement for you, and see what it does. It will tell you, it's not my job, I'm not a doctor, you're not supposed to replace a doctor, but it will give you some idea. So this is a prescription plan. It's telling you what all it's planning to do, what drugs it is planning to give, how the prescription should go, why it is giving, all that is fine. I understand all that. I'll stop it here. Fine, I know all that. Show me the real prescription. Okay, with a lot of spelling mistakes I'm writing. This is a sample prescription. Show me the real prescription. Give it in. See, that's why it's intelligent. You have to prod it like you tell your child, na, don't irritate me, come and do your work. Right? I have to prod, you have to give multiples. I won't go into what is prompt engineering. It will take a lot of time. Give it in prescription format. So it will give it in a proper format. And it said very nicely, I've told you this, put it in the format that you want, but it will generate something and show you. So you get a fair idea. Many times these drugs need not be copied and taken for because the nephro may not be happy that you're giving telmisartan to a high creatinine. Some nephros may recommend it. You might like it also, but that's the thing. So it gives you a very fair idea what is to be done. Now I want something else. Give me the EGFR and tell me his prognosis after 6 months. Ask any question you want and you get a very beautiful answer. So you need not waste your patient's money for spending 460 rupees in a lab to get EGFR. You'll get the EGFR right over here. You don't need to use Hippocrates or a calculator on an Android phone and all. It will do all the calculations, show you the steps, how it is doing it, and told you the EGFR is 49. So it's giving you the interpretation and all. Saw that use case? Now let me show you another thing here. Let's stop this over here. Now let's show you something here. I'm uploading a journal, an article.
Alok sir, we will just close after this because the lunch is underway outside.
Yeah. I'll just show one or two cases, then I'll close. Done. So I'll just show you one article here. Now, this is an article. Now, what is this article? I'll just show you. So this is the latest article. I just read it for our journal club. It's a beautiful article. Artificial Intelligence, Bias and Clinical Safety. Now, it's a big article. As you are there, you read a lot of detailed articles, right? You don't have the time to go through the article and get the salient features out. So if you have the time and patience, you can do that. Something better you can do is use either this app, ChatGPT, or use Perplexity, which is another AI engine. Use Gemini, which is another AI engine, or use you can use, these are three primary, or you can even use Copilot. Now, Copilot comes inbuilt with Windows. If you have Windows, Copilot, you need not have a licensed version. Copilot comes inbuilt with it. You can use Copilot also. So once you do that, all you can do is just go over here and say here, kindly summarize this article for me. With its relevant points. So while that magic is happening, you can use this engine. Now, Gemini is not very good for many things, but it is an excellent tool for doing literature search. So if you want a particular list of references from Google Scholar and PubMed, rather than waste your time in searching manually, you can say over here, give me latest references in Vancouver format on anti-coags long-term in chronic pulmonary embolism from Google Scholar. See, there are a lot of spelling mistakes, that's okay, and PubMed, right? Now I go here, I'm just finishing in 1 minute. So it's working up. So it started giving you the references. You don't have to waste your time. You're going to get the latest references and beautiful references on which you can do your literature search. Saw that? I even use this. I'll give you a case example. I won't waste your time here. So I have a flat where one of my tenants was staying for 7 years. So my wife said the agreement is getting over now. Just check if he's paid all the rents every month properly or not. So that means 7 into 12, 84 months. I download the bank statement, go through all the entries. Otherwise, my wife will get angry with me because she doesn't like my money to be wasted unnecessarily. So there are ladies sitting here, they're nodding their heads very nicely. You need to check whether that money has come in your account or not. So such a painful exercise I had to do. So I got a brilliant idea. I downloaded the 5-year statement, put it in ChatGPT, said, prepare an Excel sheet for me and tell me if any rent is missing, how much is missing, and what was the date. So it prepared a beautiful sheet and told me these 2 months rents were delayed. Now, another use example, you go to buy a car. You have been told this is the EMI, this is the EPR, this is the APR for the next 4 years at this rate if you give this down payment. And you said, no, I've got better down payment. So what is your structure? So it gives you a new structure. Put both the scenarios in ChatGPT, ask it, where am I losing more money? It will tell you analysis beautifully what's going wrong where. So once you're taking the subscription of ChatGPT, this is the place you can do fantastic work out of it. Not just medical, there are so many examples. See, it's an intelligent machine. It's your choice how you want to use it. It's totally depending on your creativity. We create PowerPoints out of it. We prepare our lectures, we write our review articles. Now, just one more minute because we don't have time. Write 10,000 words.
Alok bhai,
Yeah, just
we are really short of time.
Just one last thing. Review article on diabetes and CKD. Now see it starts. See the magic happening? Just 2 minutes. It will start creating a review article which is going to be something that you can actually publish, and people do publish with some changes. So you see the abstract, see the article, see the references, everything will start coming up. So there are so many use cases where you can use AI for doing 1001 things, and people like us are using AI walking, talking everywhere. We even use it to create music, we even use it to create pictures, we use it to create videos, we create our own PowerPoints. The PowerPoints that you saw were created by AI. And then we superimpose our ideas. So there's a hell lot of things you can do. The choice is yours, the creativity is yours, and I'll stop here because we don't have time, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. The more you get involved, the more fun and pleasure it is. Don't get scared, and remember, it is not artificial intelligence, it is augmented intelligence or additive intelligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alok bhai. Thank you.
I request Dr. Bharat Shabu to hand over the mementos to rest of the panel. You already received it. Okay, good. So